Hey, sorry about that. Okay, so engagement. Something is moving up, and you're going to have the strength to do it. This is a really good sort of like a life lesson. It is asking you to tame the lion. In your case, that can mean taming some spending habits. In your case, this means approaching things in a sort of like firm manner, because this is saying you need to tame a beast inside of you, right? So it's going to be interesting to look. Religious factors means kind of sticking to some kind of rules as well. So let's see what we have over here. Keep an open mind. Make the effort. It is safe for you to love. These are just titles. The tarot is what to me is kind of like main guide. Attraction, true love, worth waiting for. Chemistry, new love, and reconciliation. So let's see. Interestingly enough, oh my gosh, you're so right. This is what you came and boy, will you ever learn about money. Is your husband a spender? I have a feeling your husband is a spender. So you have another, is your husband a Leo or a fire sign? That's going to be interesting. You have a spender, somebody who is around you, who is kind of pushing you into this, and this kind of is you. So remember how I was telling you there will be a category where I can see which balls you dropped, which kind of basically port you left that cruise, and what you need to accomplish in this life. You need to accomplish about being solid about your money. This is exactly great question that you had. 9 of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles are the key basically numbers. So from 9, you're going to 10. So hey, hello, you're going to get it. It's still not there. It's in the future, but you're getting there. So this is asking you almost like it's telling you, listen, you will actually have such a great budget set that not only will you be able to have savings, you'll be also be able to kind of like treat yourself with luxuries. Again, you have the Pentacles. It is your money karma, and you're spending a life actually really thinking how to go about that, right? You have these twos. Twos are kind of like decisions. Reconciliation in your case most likely is not about relationship. It's sort of like something that you had in the past as a knowledge, and now you have to maybe take it to the next level. This little globe is representing striving to kind of like go forward and planning about it, thinking about it, right? That's the plan that I told is set in place. See, one of them is bolted, another one is sort of free. So you have to figure out which things worked and which new things have to be pushed forward. And you need to study. This is a Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles always talks about being studious and going forward in kind of like a positive direction. And keep an open mind, meaning that maybe you have a set standard how you're dealing with things. This means looks like that standard will have to change. So the second category is telling me what basically in this life you program to go well. So it looks like your relationships, your loved ones, seems to be working well, and the great love is there. This is a cups energy. And again, look, you're going from 1 to 9. This is telling me a little bit that sometimes you see, 9 of Cups is a good card. I think did we have the 9 of Cups here? Yeah, we had the 9 of Cups reversed. And you have a 9 of Cups reversed here. So this is in the category of, again, how to track this and what you programmed to actually happen to work. So emotions are certainly programmed, but this is telling me that you need to kind of find something that emotionally fulfills you. You see, you have these 2 9s. Something is happening. So maybe this applies to money, maybe applies to relationship. Maybe you are giving person and give it to everybody else, and you're forgetting yourself about that. And look at that. Oh my gosh, you're having this card as well repeating, right? Which means kind of like you have to learn how to get unstuck on something. And I think for you, the question you're asking is more or less an emotional trigger, I would say. Okay, so what you have learned to be happy-go-lucky. So to say for you to love, so you kind of like do have the environment around you sort of okay. The Fool is a little bit a naive creature. Fool believes everything is possible. I just have to keep going, right? And the little dog represents society keeping us back. So Fool is, again, a new start. So after 9, right? After 9, we have 10s, because 10 is like 1, a new start, and 0. So this is this card. So you have learned already one part of it. Kind of like you have to keep being positive. You have to kind of like keep looking up. Oh my gosh, you have the third 10. That's awesome. So whatever is hard, maybe you have learned that certain things that can be big burdens that you just have to figure out. Instead of 10 of these things, just take 3 and deal with 3. Oh my gosh, you look at this. You're like mushrooming with pentacles, which are the financial issues, and this is talking about team building and expertise in something. And I think you need to gain expertise in terms of monetary dealings. So remember when I was telling about the 4 exits? Here are these 4 exits, but 4 exits are also the 4 lessons you'll be actually really learning. This is like what's happening right now. Passion over something. It says attraction. Like finances again. You have to get passionate about it. I think you are avoider. Remember what I said here? Where is this card? You are avoider. You get your bill, you don't want to look at it, or you just like pay, don't analyze it. It's kind of tough. I know it could be like it's not in the stomach. Avoiders generally make good money, so that's a good news. Bad news is like they don't want to look into that. They end up paying what do you call it, interest, etc., which basically keeps also spiraling them down. Again, you have a 1 and you have a 10. Here you had 1, 9, and 10. You see what's happening? This lifetime for you, you're really finishing loose ends from the past lifetimes, because you're getting a major arcana as exit to a different lifetime. And you're really finishing in this lifetime certain things, and you will be some kind of CEO. So anyway, we'll get there. Look, pentacles again, and this is like what you're saying. Oh my gosh, life gets in the way. I just keep dropping the balls, like this kind of keeps slipping through my fingers, right? Because when he's up, he's still kind of juggling and kind of keeps going. And even here, you're trying to get out of it, right? So here you're saying, okay, I don't know how to stir this. I don't know how to juggle this, right? So here it's saying you have to find something that you love. True love and arrows of love. Meaning, let's say you want to give a gift, let's say to your children. Or you want to give a gift to your mother, or you want to buy a bigger house. That's something that you can fall in love with, in addition, of course, to a family. So you can fall in love with actually being able to create that nest egg. When you find that you love something, then this learning and gaining this expertise is not going to be that difficult for you. Yeah, you see, again, avoider, you had the 8 and now you have 9, right? So it is kind of 8 and 9 keeps repeating. Yeah, and you just kind of like clamp up. You say, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, I don't want to think about it. I'll think about it tomorrow. And that's why you have here the world would mean tomorrow is another day, but then you really do something, and here things are not happening, right? So, worth waiting for. So this is like where you're achieving this. And not only that you're achieving this money, but you're actually training the entire lineage. Because look at this, you have children, you have dogs, you have a couple, and you have elderly. So it could be that it's going to be a family meeting. And family meeting would be if you have other people living with you who are adults and not contributing, they have to learn how to contribute. If you don't have money, they'll have to contribute with work. And that's going to free space for you where you can study about money. So I see what I mean. That contribution has to happen, and everybody has to kind of get on this kind of stage, because it's a collective effort that's going to result in this. And there you go. So you're moving from that to, where did you have this to? You just had this to. Oh, there is like in the base over here. So this is something that is following you through life, that money issue. Now you're moving very soon to the next stage, into this planning and how to go about it. You see, you kind of partially learned that lesson at some point, and it is coming back. Oh my gosh, look at this. You have 8, 9, and 10. So guess what you're going to happen? You'll find that when you start doing that some people will kind of backstab you, or they will let you down. So there is like the last 10. You have all 4 10s. This is you're cleaning the slate, wiping the slate clean, and you're saying you either are on the board with this, or you kind of have to go your own way. I'm not going to tolerate it here, because this is your circle of things that you can do. And if you cannot contribute, if you're actually creating me anxiety, if you're creating me tiredness, this has to go. This, unfortunately, might be some kind of family member that is going to create this kind of problem. So be well aware of that. And again, it's telling you, listen, you have to realize that you have to be on the throne. You're the princess, you're the queen, you're the empress on your own throne. So the empress is represented with 2 signs, with Libra and with Taurus. This is a karmic sign that already did come in money issues, so this is where this relates. And I don't know if you have a daughter. This can also represent daughter or a child. It's something you're really, really tight with, something you're close with. And I think that person will actually be supportive of you. So again, you have a 2. Look at that. 2, 2, 2. So you have 2s, you have 10s. Right, so something is switching over, but 2 is like still that indecision and moving forward, and looks like to me that in this process somebody might walk away from you, and you're going to say, so be it. If that's a decision, that's a decision, but this person is going to come back. Because Taurus and Libra together, what it means is like she's creating her own empire. This goes back to that Queen of Pentacles being resourceful. She's really closely related to her, because everything she has is kind of like the finest thing, but it doesn't mean that she actually spent everything on it. This person is forced to make a decision, even though the decision is not necessarily the one this person wants to make. So now we are going back to, this is your goal in this lifetime, right? And so the goal is like to start something, so new love. So in this life, that love looks like very, very important for you. But love is for you almost like a means to resolve the issues. Your issues are financial. And this is why I see that you are Saggy. November 25th, well, November will be 2, right? 1 and 1. Let me see, 11, 10, 21, 31, 32, 34, 34 and 5, 39. So it's number 3. Yeah, you like the arts, so the 3s will be also important for you as well. So no, it didn't come here, but I think this kind of card is also very important, because looks like this entire lifetime for you is going to be setting a stage with how to do things properly. It's not going to go without a hitch, right? It's going to have issues. You will have some kind of anxiety that you need to overcome, because if you do not jump over that hurdle, you'll continue doing what you are doing. And you know what is this called? This is called insanity, right? So let's go back to this to kind of reiterate this. So Justice is the karma card, and so was the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. So 10, all 10s came out here. So this is kind of reconfirmation. So you can see, you can use different decks and they will keep telling you the same answers, right? So you also have to feel like a queen in your own house. That's 3. You are number 3. That's why, this card showed up. So you have to come to your own power. It sounds to me that somebody in your house is taking that power away from you. It could be a female figure. It could be your kid, or it could be a female figure. And here, this is telling me that you actually really need to learn how to reign. to become this King of Wands. I mean, you're Saggy anyway, but King of Wands is generally sort of like what we would think of Steve Jobs, even though I don't like him because of how he behaved toward his kid and stuff. But like, let's shave that edges right now for the lack of better example, meaning somebody who kind of is motivational. So by you changing this within yourself and putting your foot down within your family, because lots of things will be dealt with on the family level for you, even though you enter this life saying, look, I have to know, how do I firmly stand on my feet? How do I learn about money? And what kind of world I need to build for myself. So these are these 4 really key elements you will be learning. And I don't know if you're going to be sort of self-employed or something, because kind of like new love for you, it's kind of, I think, business oriented. This could be a business venture. This could be kind of organizing, because it's almost like not only will you learn about money, but you're going to learn about money kind of like being applied to a much higher level, sort of via investments, via business. So you see, you had this card over here. Queen of Pentacles came via the Empress as well. Now the Death was another thing, and this probably shows your current suffering. This is where you're going, this 6 of Wands. And that probably talks about this, right? Somebody will maybe backstab you, somebody will maybe gossip about you. You can expect some harsh words, and this is normal. Whenever you are like shaking like equilibrium, you know, like the dust from the bottom has to come to the surface. Without cleaning the dust, without cleaning the dirt and cutting off what doesn't work, you cannot move forward. And this is why you feel this stuck. Where did we see this? It was also here. See, it's kind of like you're literally attracting the situations that are calling for you to act. So whenever you find yourself that you are not acting on certain things, you have to kind of recheck yourself and ask yourself why, and remind yourself that this is what you programmed, and sometimes you want to get stuck in the past. So these are all major arcanas that I kind of like came over here, as well as this one. And this is going to be a big lifetime. Let's see how old you are. Are you like me? And yeah, you know what was his name? What is this rich guy? Warren? Is it Warren? What is his name? I probably lack omega-3s. I cannot really think of it. What is that investor here? Let me just check. Buffett, Warren Buffett, right? And he started in his 50s, and he made entire fortune from 50 on. So keep that in mind. And he really didn't follow the principles that were prescribed. He didn't kind of go and say, okay, I'm going to do it this way that everybody teaches you, you know. So in my coaching, I sort of like apply a little bit of his method. I'm not going to claim I'm an investor, but I'm not really helping people invest, because that's not my expertise. I help people reorganize the situation they have to make it in a way that they can actually anticipate and be prepared for situations, right? So one of them is an emergency fund, which first and foremost to be go credit cards payment, and then you're going to start building your emergency fund, and only then you're actually starting saving. But things can be done simultaneously. Okay, I also want to quickly do that spread that I did for you. I just want to see if it's going to be any advice given. Okay, so maybe I can even use this. Carmen, November 25th, 1974. And I'm so sorry for sending you this in 2 installments. I do put do not disturb on my door, but looks like nobody cares, right? November 25th, 1974, and happy birthday in advance. I guess this was your birthday present. Okay, November 25th, 1974. Carmen, November 25th, 1974. Ooh. I just want to see something. I want to see what other blockages I have with the spread that I developed. I have the Hierophant again, and look at this, just the one. Okay, so the very first card is representing your current financial situation and your present relationship to money. And you got the Four of Pentacles. It's kind of like you feel that you're maybe holding it tight and then it's just slipping out, right? And also, this person is holding on to his pentacles in such a kind of like stressful way. Maybe this is all he has. When this is reversed, you're reaching, like this was that 8 of Wands that you had, you're reaching an idea, understanding that you have to kind of cut down the walls. It's certain methods that you are doing obviously didn't work. So it's not so much money karma, it is a methodology for you, the process that is not applied properly. Then the second card that I put here will actually represent your current core beliefs and feelings about money. You almost cried over spilled milk. Looks like you're paying and paying and paying bills, but you're not focusing on the things that are still there and still working, because look at that. Two of Cups is right here. It keeps repeating this message. Remember, you had this like entire basically gamut of cups in your karma. So it's certain sadness that you feel, and this person unfortunately is too much in his sadness, and that was the death card that I've seen there. The death card to me tells me, oh my God, you know, like I'm suffering and suffering, where's this going? But you need to kind of like, okay, I need to jump on my feet and do this. So this represents past influences that shaped your ideas and feelings about money. So this is the religious factors that you had, I think, on the bottom of this deck. And you get the Hierophant reversed. You're getting, this definitely talks about getting a wrong advice. So either you, and you know what is funny? That's what you probably said. How do I break the cycle? Well, looks like in your family you have the cycle. And we learn, just like food, from our families, how to deal with certain things. And no, my dad, who was a truck driver, well, I have two dads, stepdad. This is the stepdad I'm dealing with. Truck driver, my real biological father was a lawyer. And my parents were really good with money. So my stepdad, the one who kind of like is my stepdad in Canada, is not really good with money. He kind of like literally holds on to this money, being Taurus, right? And oh my God, look, I mean, he has to get everything the cheapest with him. You have to go to Walmart. So he ends up spending more money because everything wears off really, really quickly. And so I keep telling him, look, don't give me money advice. You're the last person who should give me money advice. And this is what's happening here. You get advice from somebody who is absolutely not qualified to give you this advice. And possibly also very forceful to tell you how things should be done. And people really get on their high horse when it comes to money or religion or relationships. They think they know best. And generally what they do, they keep regurgitating things that have been done within their families, right? So again, certain things need to be unlearned, and literally you need to shape how you do with finances differently. Maybe almost like tells me that you could be a workhorse saddled with how other people want you to do, and that's why that Nine of Cups came reversed. You're not really happy in a situation, but you keep doing this for the happiness of everybody else, and this has to stop. And I see it here. This represents your spiritual relationship and the lessons you need to learn. You need to cut off things that don't work. And look, she has this third eye getting activated. You have to have vision. You have to be the leader. You have to keep going. You have to set a new standard and move this forward, right? And this represents actions that need to be taken to change your current financial situation. And remember how I said, crying or spilled milk is just a waste of time at this stage. Fives also tells me, oh, I don't want to look in my problems right now. I just want to feel sad about that. This is a contract. This is a partnership. This is a new way. So this tells me that you have to cut some partnerships. Certain things are not working out here, and you need to put your foot down about that, right? This also could mean that maybe your husband is a spender as well. So if this is the case, you kind of like need to either separate the finances. So look, if you want to be a spender, this is fine. So I also coach with how to separate these finances. And usually how this is done is like you put all the money that both of you earn on one sum, on one kind of pile, and then that core basically expenses that you have to pay, then you pay it out, and then you can separate the money at that point. Not like what you earn is mine, what you earn is mine. No, because you, like, I mean, as I said, it should be also contribution, not only the money bringer to the home. But there is like actually more to it. Especially is really good if people want to get to the same page, then you still go to the categories that are assigned to it. And whatever is left, by the way, in my budget, I always give a blast money, because you have to train yourself and the universe that you're worthy of having nice things. So that way you actually demand it to blast this money. So you kind of like actually enjoy this every month, and you are not feeling this with guilt. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope this kind of can give you some kind of insight. I am Carmen, sending you a new coupon. Thank you so much again for your order. For coaching, I cannot take this coupon, but if you really are interested, let me know. As I said, coaching is not expensive, but I have some kind of starting packages that is like about $500 a month. This is just to try, and maybe that can be done to set up the budget and everything, and this will come back to you multifold if you go with this. But if you can't, or right now, like you're saying, are you crazy? I'm just like already done with money, and it's just I have to kind of like make sure that I have my head above water, then I would say set a budget. And that budget has to have emergency funds, it has to kind of build this and just see really where the leaks are, and kind of like dedicate yourself to kind of like clearing them out. So thank you so much for your order, and I love you, and until the next time, all the best.